Welcome to Survivor NSFW. This is one of my potentially favorite episodes ever in the history of doing this. We are joined. First, let me mention we have Zack Hacker. He is a novelist. He is also a patron here at Survivor NSFW. Zack does my homework for me. You know, when all these brilliant questions are asked and I chuckle at the end of your answer, Zack will be the one providing them. So,
okay. All right.
Welcome, Zack. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So and here he is. Oh my God, the king of the jungle. One half of the podcast. Welcome to the jungle with Luke Toki and the Crow. He's always creeping. Let's hear it for the snake charmer himself, Luke Toki.
Hey boys, cheers for the introduction.
How did I do?
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, you could. You should probably practice it where you can look at the camera and say it rather than look down. But you know,
I could have done that gimmick. So no, I didn't want to get anything wrong. I mean, like, so truth be told, I met Flick and Phoebe at Hearts of Reality. I don't know, 3 years ago, and they were kind of following me around like a puppy. They were just like, "Holy shit, it's Jonny Fair." I mean, you know, Survivor royalty, right?
When you're God, you know what I mean? Like, you can understand that.
Yeah, so you know, and they were just like, they're like,
we were the Tiger King, and they were just two tigers, and he was walking around.
No, it was two guys wanting some pink camo shotguns. Is all it was. So, yeah, neither one of them were looking for something of the same sex or whatever. Anyway, so so they're like, do you watch Australian Survivor? And I'm like, no, I do not. Like, you know, like don't you guys have like 80 episodes per season? They're like, it's a lot.
Something like that.
Yeah. And they're like, it's really good. And I was like, I believe you. I just, you know, I don't have that kind of time. And they're like, well, can we tell you about a game? And I was like, no. I'm like, I'm gonna watch one day. So I don't. And they're just like, but it would be really cool to talk Survivor with Jonny Fairplay. And I was like, yeah, I guess it would be. So I apologize 1000%. So I find like someone gave me the Iggy. They're just like, hey, if you were ever to watch Survivor, any season, any continent, just jump right in on All Stars. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me do. And then this lockdown happens. And I'm like, praise the Lord. How perfect is this?
Yeah.
So I just watched the finale.
Yeah.
Predictable. We were supposed to start recording an hour and a half ago, so I guess we're done. Luke, thank you. This was fun. Man, insightful.
I was late. I don't know what's the time over there.
Yeah. So no. I consider Australian All-Stars one of the top 5 seasons in the history of Survivor that I've ever seen. And as a result, I am hooked. And I have been told to not go back and start with season 1, but to start with season 2.
Okay.
Is this factual information or rumor and innuendo?
Oh no! Look, you know, everyone has their own opinion of how each season goes. I think. Look, I obviously I was on season 2 or 2017, so I'm going to be a bit biased and think we did all right that one. So, yeah, I think I
heard
I've been watching. Yeah, definitely yes. I've been watching the latest season of season 40 of America.
Yeah,
and I just I feel like it's the same game, but it's like we both have different editing. Like the way they edit it is a little bit different.
Yeah, they show yours.
Yeah. Well, it's just I'm enjoying the latest season in America.
Harry said he prefers season 40 to Australian All Stars.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Well,
He said it's the grass is always greener philosophy.
Yeah. Look, there's two different sides. Like you've got all these characters that you know of. So watching it maybe is a different feel to you because you don't know these characters that are on All Stars. I
felt I did by episode 4. I mean, like you guys 4 episodes in are showing clips from their home before they even left to play the game.
Yeah, we get the full backstories.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, because like there's so many people, like, with 24 people, I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be tough. Yeah. And I'm sitting there, and by 4 episodes in, I'm just like, I love this motherfucker. I hate this motherfucker. Like, this motherfucker is the guy at my work that I can't fucking stand to even walk past, not even talk to, just walk past.
That's the thing is you straight away have your opinions on the characters pretty quickly, and isn't that's the whole idea of this game? We pick our favorites. You can sit there and go, I like him, he's a dick, but then after about a couple episodes, you like him and he's a dick. I think when I got on the screens for the first time, half the people were like, this dude's a cracker, like he's just off his head. He's not even going to last one round, and then after the game went on, that's when I started, people started warming to me. But that's why I like the Australian version because it does give you a lot of backstory. It goes and delves right deep into the personality potentially even at the start. The only thing is we have a lot of episodes, and sometimes other people don't get a say or don't have you can read the edit sometimes because you're like, wait a minute, I haven't heard from this person for fucking 20 episodes, and now all of a sudden he's on the screen
he's talking like Troy Zan finally gets an episode. It's like, this isn't good for you, buddy.
If you know that we're and then what it does is if you can read into the edit, then the end of the episode is actually not that good because you can read it into it.
Harry's problem with the Australian version is they love telling the underdog story. So when he found that there were many instances in which there was so much real story going on outside of what's being shown versus attempting to show that underdog do something and then it be unsuccessful. And it's just like you wasted all that time showing that when this is what was happening. It was actually good.
Oh, completely. Yeah, there's some times where you're like, the whole episode goes by and that's the filming for potentially a 3-day window. And in those 3 days, you're like, man, this went on. And then that 3-day window, like none of it gets shown. And it's a complete different type of path that they tried to show. But imagine being the editor and having a look through 3 days worth of footage or producers kind of said, this is this. And then next minute you get a good part of strategy, but it's at nighttime and it's grainy and it's not that hard to see, and it doesn't come through that clear. So you're like, well, we're gonna have to scrap it and go for another angle,
Yeah, because a lot of conversations do take place at night.
Oh, most of them do.
Good one. I mean, like shit you shouldn't be saying is definitely. I mean, like that like the sun goes down and you feel you can be a little more honest.
Yeah. Well, exactly. There's just some times where. Yeah, such a long. They just play stuff that you're like, well, that was 1, not even strategy. 2, wasn't even the storyline, but they've gone with it, and that's why you will see a lot of contestants try to, jump online and try to explain their games as the episodes go on because they're like, well, I'm not being heard, I'm not being seen. I sat up on the beach and did fucking 4 hours worth of confessionals, and you just haven't used one diddly squat of it, but then you've used a little clip of me saying something on day 2 in day 8 or day 12, and it's like, well, that wasn't even the same. So everyone has their own mind on how the game went, and that's the edit. You can't choose your edit, you know.
And plus production chooses their favorites, so whatever you're saying, if it doesn't align with the favorites of the stories that they want to tell, your information is either useless or accommodate those stories.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, of course. Like, if all of a sudden you're a contestant and you're constantly whinging about mosquito bites and you're constantly being late to when everyone needs to go and you're constantly just a fucking whinger, I think naturally any cameraman or any person that has to work with that person is like, would go home, go to lunch and be like, man, he's a dick. Like, and then they can just cut you out the edit. Or, and say, for instance, like it's, I suppose that, you could say they have favorites, and definitely I feel like that they do try to follow the most exciting route.
Well, I think we can safely say the favorite and the most exciting route this season was our boy David all the way through.
I didn't even see him on there.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Oh, right. If only that guy could have gotten a confessional or two.
Yeah.
I will say this. So the only head start I had going into All-Stars was I met Phoebe and Flick. I thought they were both beautiful. I thought they were both smart. I thought they were both funny. I thought they were both nice, personable. So I was rooting for them as two human beings that I interacted with over the course of 4 days, and they were awesome. And then like the last day I'm there, Flick's fiance shows up, and I'm just like, holy shit, you look like someone stretched out Benry. And it's Benry's brother, who looks just like Benry, but stretched out. He's a foot taller, but looks, it's odd. It's ridiculously odd. And I'm just like, and Benry and I mean, we've been to Japan together and Diego Garcia and all these crazy places. And I'm just like, oh my God, like you're like my friend, but you could beat him up.
Know each other.
So I was rooting on them, and then someone gave me the Iggy. They're just like, you need to watch the highlights of Dirty Harry. Like if there is a Australian version of Jonny Fairplay, that's it. And so I watched the highlights from when you played with Dirty Harry, and I was just like, holy moly. I'm like, why have I not been watching this? So anyway, I'm legitimately 2 solid episodes in. I'm not feeling the Golden God. Lex Vandenberg, legend. I got him hooked on it. He also agrees. Best top 5 season ever. One of the best seasons he's seen in over 10 years. Loves it.
Yeah.
2 episodes in, not feeling the Golden God.
Okay.
1 more episode. Episode 3, I think, is the greatest mastery of a single episode by a single player in the history of the show on any continent. Agree or disagree?
Look, I agree. I think it was the thing is Dave thinks about the game a little bit differently than others. Others, it's like going back to high school and it's all social. Everything's social. I feel like that's the difference between America and Australia. It just seems like the emphasis is such on the social side. But I thought when we came and looked at All Stars, I didn't think the social side would actually play too much of an issue, but it did. It still felt like I was with them because we all liked each other, and not because you want to further yourself in a game. I don't know. I found it a bit strange. But within America, it's kind of like, well, it's actually, I suppose when we sit there and watch the season, you've got Boss and Rob wasn't being that social, so I kind of like.
Well, the season 40 version of Survivor is there's so many advantages that they spend more time working on advantages than they do the human interaction, and that's not only in the edit, that's also in gameplay. So like I talked to Ethan after when he almost died on Extinction Island.
Yeah.
And so I called him. I was just like, hey, and Ethan and I are BFFs. And I was just like, this hurts to say, but I much rather enjoyed watching you almost die than being Boston Rob's bitch. So if those are my 2 options, I would rather watch you almost die every week.
Completely. Yeah. Actually, not completely. You don't want to see me die. But I understand being someone's bitch,
Yeah.
Like,
but he,
especially being out there, it's.
But he said it's not the game that he played before. He said he went out there. He goes, this is not an example. So, don't be mad at this person. He goes, but this is an example. This is not a specific. He said he would sit there and Jeremy would look over and go, who do you want to vote out? And he was like, I don't know. And he was like, okay. He's like, who do you want to vote out? He goes, I don't know. And then and everyone would just stare at each other. And then 4 minutes later, Jeremy would be like, who do you want to vote out? And Ethan's like, he goes, just pick someone. He goes, I don't know. I guess Denise. He's like, cool. So then Jeremy grabbed Denise, goes, Ethan wants to vote you out.
Yeah.
And he was just like, what the fuck is this? And then like, 20 minutes later, Jeremy be like, once again, not a specific, just an example, Jeremy be like, well, we need to get wood. The fire's about to go out. So Ethan's like, okay, I guess I'll go get wood. So Ethan go get wood to go. And Jeremy go, well, Ethan's looking for the idol.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's no conversation. Not, just imagine like the three of us sitting there on the island, we're like, we could not even be in the same alliance. It's just like, dude, tell a story.
See, I think weirdly enough, if nothing's happening, that's great. You don't need someone to tell you a name to sit there and say that they've been saying someone. I can easily go up to Zack and say, Jonny wants you out, brother. Now you don't need to tell me. I just told you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's up to you to believe me. Yeah. And that's the thing is as soon as your Skype died or whatever, me and Jonny were talking about voting you out. But
that's an alliance here.
Yeah. I was like, man, he doesn't even realize me and you, Zack. Yeah. But so that's what I'm saying is you don't need to be given a name to go out and stir the pot. The difference is a lot of people will sit there and go, yeah, I'm a big strategic player and this and that, but they haven't once made one lie the whole game. So tell me where you've actually created your own. You haven't actually created any pass other than what's being offered to you. You have to go out there and lie. On our season, there was 3 girls super tight. They were so tight. We've been tight with them. And how the hell will you break up a 3? When you get a strong 2, that's a power couple. Imagine being deep into the game where there's 8, 9 people left and there's a strong 3. How the hell do you break them up?
Sounds like a good Saturday night to me, Luke.
Oh. Yeah. Well, you separate them.
BlueChew.com. That's blue.
Yeah. And you kind of you have to find the weakest link out of the 3 and pretend like they're not that tight or whatever.
Why do the other 2 not think that you're as pretty as them?
Why did the other 2 not think?
No, that's what you say to them.
Oh well, yeah.
That's what you say to the one. You find the weakness. Why don't they think you're as pretty? I think you might even be prettier. Maybe.
Yeah, you're the come with the ugly crew.
Well, no, you just a little plausible deniability, just in case. She's like, well, look at them. I'm like, if you squint, you're prettier.
It's just creating a lie, and I find that it's when you see someone do that and they, with Harry, we can go to Harry and he purely just created a lie that he had a son purely to kind of find some social gain with some girls, with some mothers and stuff like that. And that's why it's so good, because some players would never, ever think of doing that. They would it's everything that comes out their mouth is truth. And they're probably sometimes when you can work out that every single thing they say is truth, well, they're the easiest to be manipulated out there,
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Or align with even, because for fact, like with Dave and Tarzan, he found someone that would just tell him the straight up truth in every single aspect, but then wouldn't go out and lie. So it was the perfect ally.
Perfect. Yeah.
And then because they're the ones you want to align with, because it's not like you're aligning with, dodgy people like myself and you, Jonny. You know what I
mean? would we work together out there, Luke?
I'm actually quite a solid, reliable alliance member. I kind of feel like I roll a little bit like Boston Rob, where I want to get my crew through the game together, because I feel like having a strong two, or a strong two with myself, another one, and another strong two working behind the scenes, but we grab other crews, like, is the best. But in the end, I always want that 4 to go forward, you know.
Yeah. I'm also very solid.
Yeah, that's supposed to be behind your back.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not good.
You never show someone. I'm
not good at this. I'm not.
Yeah.
So, hey, real quick, Zack has some awesome questions, but one question I have to get out there before we do. I should close on this, but I got to know: U.S. versus Australia. U.S. wouldn't do it because we wouldn't, but Australia would.
Yeah.
Who
well, they bring it up. They legit bring. I feel like baby steps. I think they should just do like a Australia versus New Zealand. You know?
No. Fuck that. Go
work your way up. We're ready. You just want to go straight.
Yeah,
oh, you ready? You sure?
Yeah. Who wins?
Nah, I don't know. I think that I think you'd be pretty surprised how socially adaptable some of the Australian guys are. Like,
I think you guys kill us.
Yeah, I really think,
I'm not surprised at all. If I'm out there with the best from the US and I consider myself the best.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course.
I think you guys physically destroy us.
Yeah, but I think physically we've got like a bit of a I know myself, like,
how big are you?
You know, I'm 6'2" and about 95 kg. So
how many pounds?
What's that? 180, 190.
It's about my size.
Oh, what's so?
Okay, so I'm bringing Zack with me. Who's winning?
So yeah, you know,
he kicked my ass.
What is actually? What would it be? So what's 95 kgs? What's 95 kgs in pounds? Was it 2.2 pounds to a kg?
Well, I got to type that in. 95 kg to pounds. 209.
209.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I'm
got 40 pounds on me. Never mind.
I'm 5'8", 150. Why are you laughing?
We could probably match you up against some of the girls. Like,
I think Phoebe would take me. I thought I would mop the floor with Shawnee. Wrong. Or Tony, sorry. So all right. So
but with Australia versus America, which I don't know how they're doing it with the rights of you know, with the CBS or
you don't need rights. Russell showed up, no problem.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like Russell's hasn't he been cast out from American Survivor? Okay, isn't he just like
no? Hold on. Season 40 was supposed to be legends and not winners.
Ah, wow. Oh, and you reckon they would have?
I got a call.
Oh, did ya?
Some of your other favorites got a call.
Oh, wow.
And allegedly, Russell Hantz got the call.
Oh,
and a lot of people say that he's lying.
But if you got the call, if you got a call, well, then you can pretty much confirm that there's a good chance he would have got. I don't see the reason why he would have lied about him getting a call.
Because it's Russell Hantz. But I had a serious one-on-one, non-podcast, you know, just real phone call, and he was like, yes. And people don't, and I'm just like, even if they don't like him, they would love to see him out there for 3 days.
Yeah, of course. Well, you know, he might last a bit longer than 3 days. You never know.
But if they don't like him, like say production's just like, fuck this dude.
Yeah, but
let's bring him on to go out in 3 days.
Yeah, but see, I don't reckon they'll do him like that. I just feel like he I still think he's great. Like, even some of the shit he says, like, you know, he doesn't care about what people think of him. You know, and he just tells it how it is. You know, I'm not sitting there saying he's like a nasty person or anything. I think like some of the stuff he says, I can kind of
Well,
I kind of like understand and whatever.
He is a sociopath, but otherwise,
yeah. Yeah, well, like as long as he hasn't killed anyone on the show, so let's get him back. Let's get him back.
Not on the show.
Yeah.
See, I can relate with him how he says a bit like, he's willing to put everything on the line out there. Like he's willing to die out there to win, and I can kind of relate to that. Like that's why I didn't sign up to this next All-Star thing because I wasn't mentally there. I spent my time with my baby and stuff, but when I'm out there, I actually physically feel like there's no quitting me. There's just never going to be any quitting me. So I kind of like, when you leave the game early, it kind of I can relate to that a little bit.
There you go. So, all right, Zack, fire away.
Fire away. All right.
All right, go. Here we go.
We're only 25 minutes in
to
talk season.
Perfect.
All stars. Right. No problem.
Yeah, starting off, Lukey, you were, I thought, the biggest missing piece of All Stars. I think Sarah Talik could have been there. I think Benji could have been there, but I know why you didn't go back, as you just said.
Yeah.
But you were the first Australian survivor to return. How hard was it to come back, and what did you feel like you adjusted in your game to come back?
Oh, all right. So it was extremely hard to come back at that time. It was a financial. Obviously, to be asked back as the first person returnee was always like a big thing because you get separated from the pack. And what's happened now is I was able to not play All Stars and then sit on the couch now and talk about each episode and watch my friends play. So, if anything, it's just been like good on top of good on top of good. I feel like I've made the right choices. The situation at home was, wasn't the best when I left. We were just talking to my wife just before, and we were saying how, like she's been through a lot, the daughter, and it's only been the first year. So hopefully everything's better from there. But my game changed. I suppose you got to think I'm coming into a tribe called the Champions Tribe. So somehow I've been put as a champion, and when I walk in there, they're the first person they notice is Luke. It got mentioned. So in a way, I kind of knew that coming in too hard and too fast and talking strategy straight away with too many people is the stupidest move. So I feel like I've already made those. I found what worked good for me in my first season is, as much as you see me running around making that creep shack, the spy shack thing and running around and making a few things, I still wasn't talking strategy with everyone. I was just naturally getting to meet people, and I feel like that's what worked well with me, and that's what I came into this time. And the good thing is I had some people that I related with, ET, which is rugby. So instantly, if I sit there and see, someone that's played rugby his whole life and then I played rugby my whole life, well, naturally, I didn't talk strategy with him, but I just got the feeling and started talking about, and he could see that he could probably trust me. So I just try to build those trust things. But right at the start, when I did link up with Dave, the Golden God, you'll see it was like he was the first one. As soon as I walked around, looked around, I seen a couple of young girls. I seen, kind of like, I suppose, the different characters. But then I seen Dave, and I was like, I just went, you and me, let's lock it down early and go work our magic, because I just felt like for me to get past these early rounds, they're not going to want to get rid of the big guys because of challenges. We're probably a little bit more you're safer. And this is what I don't know, with the American season, you could probably get rid of the big guys, but because the puzzles and stuff seem to be they play a big part, but
it's much more physical there.
There's some of the challenge. I don't know if you've seen some of the challenge for All Stars when they have to lift those logs and stuff.
Yeah,
like that you can't be having. Otherwise, you're in tribal council every day.
Dirty Harry said that if Joey Amazing were to play Australian Survivor, he's top 5 easy.
Yeah, okay.
He is not an early boot like on the US version.
The problem is, and it just seems to be like nearly reoccurring, is you want to be the strongest. Imagine the big alpha male, and then you want to be slotting in about
right
here,
below
just underneath you. Because as soon as merge comes, we lost. In our season, the one before, the big guy went. Then Dave was the big guy after him, and then it would have been me. And each one that didn't lose immunity, it was like immunity. Didn't win immunity. Big guy went out. Next guy didn't lose immunity. He goes out. Then it was me. I would have been the next one. But I managed to swindle that one. So it kind of stopped that chain reaction because it just started going down the pecking order,
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you first met Dave on the islands, how much Survivor did he know?
Oh, not enough, but I think like a little bit, he did know a bit, he kind of knew what the power was in idols, and he knew how to exploit this, certain situations and tribal council. Like he was always trying to make sure that, that tribal council, he said, like, this is where you do your best work in tribal council. It's like the Colosseum. This is where you get it out and you try to make it so what's going on and you're kind of saying it. So then when it gets played back in the episode, or, that you can, where the votes are going and you're confident. So when it does land and you're doing your little take the piss at the end or whatever, where you write your little on the parchment, that you're getting credit for it when the show's finished. Otherwise, if you just sit there and play dumb constantly and say nothing, well, you're not getting that move when the show comes to air. You need to be able to sit there in the confessionals, say who's going, how the votes are going. You need to sit there and come up with some quirky lines to, like, bat back in tribal, and then obviously and then back it up to actually get the moves. I think that me and Dave, I don't sleep. You know what I mean? I'm a bat out there. I sleep when it's lockdown and there's no talking. That's when I get my downtime, because if you're not playing Survivor like that, everything's happening at nighttime. You need to make sure that you're awake probably at least 80% of the time at night, I find, and then I'll sleep during the day, because people are walking off, and if you want to be in those conversations when they're walking off, because
they're constantly pulling people for confessionals.
Two people is about to go for a walk. You want to be running. What's up? Yeah. All right. Even if you're not with them.
Yeah, but during the day they're pulling people from confessionals, one after another. Versus at night they ain't pulling anybody. So that's when.
Yeah, exactly. It's sometimes they get obviously the game's constantly going and moving. That there might be someone that you're like, man, that person hasn't had a confessional in like 6-7 days or something. And that's 7 days to talk about, and how the hell they probably haven't been talked about because they're not doing nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't worry about
if you're always in the mix and you're having to grab your bag to go down a confessional, you don't want to see anyone grabbing a bag, because you got an idol. You're going down the beach, put it on. You know what I mean? So you got to keep on top of all these little cues as well. So and then some people just naturally will check your bags. The dodgy ones will legit go, all right, say Johnny's going for a swim. Let's check his bag. Let's check his whole alliance's bags.
Do you believe in going through bags or no?
No.
See, I've always said that I hate it. I mean, like, I can't stand it.
I hate it, but it's a part of the game, and
I feel like
take those risks.
I feel like it shouldn't be part of the game, but now 2020, I'm out there on a Legends, going through a fucking bag.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But you know what? The truth is, right, is the rules are very wish-washy.
Yeah.
So it's nearly you just fucking make the rules up as you go. They tell you off.
Forgiveness is much easier than permission.
It's easy to ask for forgiveness.
Like exactly. I was like so on Pro Islands, like at the beginning, like when we were two tribes. They would pick a representative from Drake and a representative from Morgan, and we would walk the entire challenge with Jeff Probst, and we could ask whatever questions we wanted. And then afterwards, we could individually address whatever questions we had that we didn't want the other person to hear. So every time it was me and Andrew Savage. So shocker, it was not Rupert because he's a fucking idiot. So it was me. So I would walk through the challenge and, I'd figure out where we could take advantage, whatever. So like the entire time, like Jeff and Savage were just like, so what's your favorite band? And I'm just like, do I need to leave? Like, is this a date? Like, I was definitely odd man out, and limited challenge discussion because Andrew Savage isn't asking anything. So anyway, so we'd finally get back, and they're like, okay, I'm just like, yeah, individually, and they're like, okay. So then Savage would go to where his tribe was, and then I would individually ask Jeff. I'd be like, hey, so if we're going through pulling the cannon thing, and someone behind with our tribe throws logs behind us to impede the other tribe's progress, is that cool? And I'm saying this like whispering on the hey man, you got something like what you holding? I mean, like that low. And Jeff goes, yeah, so if you want to throw logs to, and I'm like, thanks, Jeff. Hey, Andrew, just to finish up our chat.
Yeah.
I love Coldplay and throw the logs.
Over you, and I would have been hearing you. You like when you're out there, you got to be as dodgy as you can.
Yeah, right.
And I like this is probably one how I feel like probably one of my my levels are with the game, and how I kind of do probably a little bit better than maybe others will socially is I do a lot of sneaky stuff, or like whether it might be just stealing some fruit and going to eat it with one person, stealing the pot, doing it, but doing the cookies with Jerry.
You guys had pot?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And mushrooms. Oh,
wow.
Yeah, that's what everyone said right at the first season, my first episode when I was like, land on the beach. You're like, nah, he's found a stash in the Fijian jungle.
Me and Rupert tried to smoke everything on that island, I assure you. Like, people were just like, I don't see you and Rupert getting along. I'm like, there were days.
Yeah. But you just those moments where you can just have fun out there is that builds alliances quickly.
And they're few and far between, so they mean that much more.
Yeah.
There's a lot of days of just boredom, and it's not your fault. It's not their fault. They're just like, hey, this is kind of a maintenance day. There's shit just relax. Exactly. And it's just like motherfucker, I got fun shit to say today.
Well, exactly. And
so like, if Fairplay, you okay? I'm like, I ain't wasting my shit today.
Well, that's what some of the stuff that we used to do. Well, is like I'd be telling people, I'm going to vote you out next, and they're like, yeah, rightio, and then like vote them out. And you're
like, that's a fun game.
Because even most people in your alliances know that you're actually telling the truth, but the people that you're telling think you're just talking shit, and you're like, so that was how you could have fun with it.
That's a very fun way.
Good.
Yeah.
So that's thinking about working with production and stuff. That's clearly an advantage to going back out there. I'm assuming you talked with David a bit about how he could tweak his game second time around.
Yeah. Look, I didn't really say too. We caught up before he flew out, and I said you're already great. Like there's no reason to tweak. You don't need to change the whole rule book. The gameplay book. You don't need to change it. You just what you need to do. I said it's just be yourself. Just keep the authenticity, because that's the one thing that just helps you get through the game, anyways.
Yeah.
But it was just there was only just a very small like little things where he rubbed up at one or two players, and even though those players that he rubbed up were probably not big players or anything, you never know when you might need them.
Yeah.
You might need them at some point.
What's it gonna cost you to give up 30 minutes on one day to make something that can help you? 20 days later.
It's just don't burn your bridges, and I find that in normal life anyways. If you're at work and you hate work and you're leaving there, you don't need to go do a big shit on the boss's desk before you leave, because you never know when you might be working back there. You know what I mean? Like the idea is just look after the people that are outside of your alliance and look after the people inside your alliance, because the game changes so many times that, and I feel like and I also said there was one of those things I always said is like, go out there and play hard pretty much straight away, because You can afford to do that when you're a big male. Sadly, it's the truth because you need it out there for these challenges. So you can sit there and win these first 2 or 3 episodes by getting out a couple people that you don't think that there's going to be a long-term strategy there. You can afford to potentially target them early because you are such a needed person in the game. So if you can get rid of the people that you feel like you'll never align with, never have a good alliance with early, do it because, one, you'll be the mastermind in getting those people out on the shows. And if you go out at episode 5 or 6 or whatever, well, it doesn't matter. You've had a good run for 5 or 6 episodes.
You still got credit for that. You got credit for that big kill.
And if you're able to get to merge and you've already had a monster first start of the first window of the game, and you've already done this and done that, and it paid dividends. Like he sat there and he was already in a majority alliance, and then he decided, no, I'm going to help look after the young alliance because I've got people out, which then paid dividends because he linked back up with Mo, which was so aligned to Matt. So it's kind of like it all works out because he decided to play it hard while everyone wanted, I'm all-stars, I just want to rely on my social game at the start and take it easy. And I'm thinking, nah, brother, go balls to the wall because there's nothing worse than I would hate it if I got to the final 2 and lost. It would be, and I kind of, so that's one of the things that I know that I don't like to do is if I'd rather lose at 7, I'd rather lose at 10 and play monster game than get to the final 2 and lose. Like that would just be like, that's my own personal opinion.
Yeah.
It would hurt.
That's what makes you and David such good TV is the play big and have fun doing it.
Yeah, you need it. Exactly. Yeah, it is true. You need a character that is naturally going to put his own game at risk purely, especially at the start.
Yeah.
To mix it up, because I swear, like they've got these twists and these. I'm a walk and talk and twist. You know what I mean? The truth is, they don't need to chuck in a twist because sometimes I just want to mix it. I want to actually just jump away from my whole majority and go fuck yous, and then just purely for a move. Yeah. And that's why I'll always play like that, and it's worked out for me. So
on Pearl Islands, I said if the bases are loaded and they say lay down a bunt, I'm swinging.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm on Survivor. I didn't come here to bunt.
The thing is, as well, he understands the jury management as well. You have to do all these crazy moves that people will probably be annoyed or peed off at you potentially if they don't respect you, whatever, early days. But when it comes into merge, you kind of need to make sure that those relationships and those people there are good and solid because you're putting them on the bench and they need to also, you know how it is, that naturally people would like to vote for a winner that they naturally like, that they not dislike, that they want to sit there and go, well, yeah, all right, I'm out the game, but I actually like this guy or like this girl, and he's played not a bad game. So you always have to, look after jury because that gives you the money.
I felt he. I mean, could be edit. They could choose any angle at any time to show when he's looking towards them. But like, I felt that much like when I took Lil, I was dragging Lil and Sandra to the end. Whenever Lil talked, I would see the jury just cringe. I mean, they just hated every word she said. And then I would come back from Tribal, it's just like, oh, nobody can beat Lil. And then everyone's just like, yeah, nobody can beat, like, because if you say something 2 times, it becomes fact. So I just kept saying no one can beat Lil, and everyone's just like, no one can beat Lil, and I'm just like, are you looking at the jury? Like I honestly think they were making the gag face when she was like that. That's how disgusted they were and hated her. Yeah. But you just keep saying that, and I felt like watching All Stars. When Sharn's talking, they're not happy.
Nah, look, they weren't that happy yet. But that just shows that she hasn't understood that.
Yeah, but I think David saw that.
Like,
I mean, I think David sees when Mo talks and when Sharn talks, and he's just like, Sharn seems like a much better option here.
Oh yeah, of course. You know, he was the that's why I think I said on my show, I was like, it's overrated to take anyone that you think that's potentially going to beat you in the end. You know, it does suck. It's hard to navigate when you've played a great game and it's very visible. But it's the truth. There's no, you don't get any rewards for taking someone better than you to the end, other than a big fat L. But loss, you know what I mean?
I think he built her up. I mean, it's like in wrestling.
Completely. He built her up, like put her on this pedestal.
Yeah, he said, let me show you how great this person is I'm going against. But and that's how you sell the tickets. But then when you have the match, it's like, but let me show you their weaknesses.
Some of Dave's greatest work is he builds it up and says, I want to go to the end with the best. So he'll just naturally say you're the best, even if you're the shittest. He'll just be like, you're the best. And then he'll promise them, final. Final 2, final 3, let's go to the end. Like even if he doesn't say a number. And then another one he does is he always goes and says, I'll play my idol for you. I'll play my idol for you. Now,
but he doesn't play his idol for anybody.
Well, clear,
well,
unless it's completely to benefit him.
Yeah.
He does. He will. But it's like the idea is if me and him are together and I've got an idol, he wants that idol around his neck.
Yeah. I mean, that was
he
the
wants
thing
me
so
to flush that idol. But you know what? No one thinks like that. No one thinks like that. Everyone's just like, oh no, he'll fight for me.
Yeah, episode 3, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, the Golden God throws out three missions that he wants to accomplish. And I'm just like, dude, you get 1 out of 3, you're doing good. And be happy. Like be like, you know what? This is a very good day of Survivor. And he was like, I need all 3. And I'm just like, I'm like, you understand that Brooke is in your alliance and will potentially play that idol for you. He goes, I need it myself. And I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is like the other contestants don't even take that in.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, we're not going to flush it. Nothing. We trust Dave. And you know what? And half the time, even if they disagreed with the moves that we're making, they're like, well, Dave's running the game. Like for me, like it's kind of like, I want to be running the game. Like, unless you're legit, like 2 solid people that have started right from the get-go, and that's the case. But if I'm with a group and they've got it, you kind of have to try to make sure you're always in a power position or you're always covered. If your whole game's relying on that they will play an idol for you, well, then you got no game.
You got no game. I don't need... I didn't have idols when I played, and I don't need an idol. I don't need somebody to play an idol to keep me in the game. Like I'm pretty sure I can keep me in the game. Once again, no one drugged me to the end on Pro Islands. I drugged the 2 most worthless players. What I consider at the time in the history of the show. One of them's name is Sandra Diaz-Twine.
What's your thoughts on? I haven't seen the episode yet, but everyone was talking about she quit or something.
She raised the flag. I'm cool with it. So there's no way she's winning anything to get back in the game.
It's cool. I think that if she's retired.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like they have to stay retired.
She's retired like Hulk Hogan's retired.
Yeah, but that's when it's an issue.
Well, here's the thing. As long as she doesn't come, like say 50, they advertise as either Super Survivor or the final season. And they call Sandra Diaz-Twine. I have no problem with her picking up that phone and saying yes.
Yeah. See,
but other than that, but if they're just like, hey, we're building 2 more statues, it's like, Sandra, you need to say no. No more nothing. Like,
I think
blood versus water and your cousin. No, you don't get to go.
Yeah. I think with like with I don't know, like I feel like this is why you got to constantly bleed new blood in Survivor. I feel like you get a newbie on for the first season. Most people will be saying, "Oh, I want to die. I'll die out there." Like that's how much I want this. That's how much I want to be out there. Even if I was on Exile, like I'd love to see how many of the newbies they got out there if they just made it to Exile. You know, how many people
we
quit
saw
on the last season?
Two.
So it's two called it quits.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty. Like some people like that exile, and I don't
hate
mind it. I wish it's probably not for every season, but
I'm
we've
okay
had some
with it
great
ending
moments
at
from it.
as long as it ends at the merge. I'm okay with it. I'm not cool with someone walking back in the game day 37.
No, not
Go
the
fuck
whole
yourself.
game.
Because
the
entire jury has lived with you for all those days. You're going to get their vote.
Yeah.
If the jury is compressed of exile people, they're going to vote for the person that's been living with them for 12 days.
Yeah. Do you know what? Having it till before merge is probably a good idea. But
Just stop it there.
We've seen some good moments out of that, you know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like Natalie, you know, really like running up and down and getting all those wood, and then at next minute breaking down crying. Like I feel like
I cried.
That's some true survivor shit right there. That's someone that's
See, Luke
you know
didn't
what I mean?
cry. Luke is a real man, not like me and you, Zach. He
I cried.
Dude,
I was just trying to see some characterization on US Survivor. I was like, damn, we're getting to know Ethan. I love it.
But I cried 3 times during you guys the All-Star finale. I cried when I can't remember the third. I remember 2 of the 3, but I know I cried 3 times because I tweeted it and I wouldn't lie on my tweet. I cried when Mo's family came out, and I cried when the Golden Gods family came out. So Sharn's family, not so much, and not the most attractive.
Johnny,
what?
Call him the kettle black.
We're all allowed our own opinions. It's okay.
That's the beautiful thing is exactly that. You're allowed your opinion. And there's nothing no one can say about it.
What do you think? Hey, you have a good-looking kid. Be happy. I have good-looking kids. You know, Zack, he's shooting blanks. He's not taking enough Blue Chew. You don't know.
No, not trying to find out.
You know, some people are 0 for 3. It's okay.
All right, let's talk about the final challenge.
Zack's like,
so Jonny, you might not know, Australian Survivor has made a name for itself with like epic final challenges that are mind blowing there. So this one, Luke, how did you feel like it ranked with past seasons? With the intensity, it only lasted 2 hours, but
look, I think I liked it. I liked that the weather came in.
I did too. The weather and then the tide. As soon as the tide came, I'm like, y'all ain't fucking with this tide.
That water was smashing into their feet pretty hard.
I mean, it could have just as easily been David slipping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that if David slipped, and say for instance we ended up if we ended up with a Mo and Sean final, I just would have been pretty upset for him, you know.
Yeah. There's a possibility.
A huge possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. A huge possibility, but we're just happy that I'm just happy that Dave won Final Four and then he won the final challenge, because they're those little hurdles that it doesn't matter how much of a great game and what you've done the whole way through. Those are the ones you're not supposed to win at that point, you know. So to see him kind of beat all those odds is like it's amazing. It's good to have someone that deserved it, really, that played right from the start. And,
there was a lot of talk at the final travel with the jury. Sharn was saying at least that she was comparing an overt game versus an under the radar game.
Yeah,
and I think David's the first Australian Survivor winner who played a really overt kingpin game to win.
Yeah,
and how did he pull that off? What made that happen? What do you think?
Well, I think that he just, he kind of went hard at the start, and I think he changed his game a little bit and built, as he said, he built those social connections, and he found he found his people. He found his people that he could sit there and he built up, and that he was confident that they would take him to the end as well. Like I would wonder. the real question is if Sean won that and Dave fell off, would have Sean taken Dave to the end, or was she just blowing smoke and then maybe would have had a big old think about it and changed their mind?
Who wins between Sean and Mo?
With Sean's speech,
I think Sean's. I think Sean shit the bed against David, but I think Sean does not shit the bed against Mo.
Yeah, but maybe, but the problem is
Mo's got a great story.
But Mo was also potentially a better speaker than Sean.
Well, she's been saving it up all season. It's like Sandra for a challenge. I mean, there's only so many times you can sit on the bench. There's only so much time Mo gets in the shelter and not say anything.
That's the thing is like if Sean does the exact same speech against Mo wins.
Yeah.
I feel like Sean's
I think David got her riled up. I think she was not equipped for how well David did. And then AK threw off her game for a little bit, and then Tarzan just threw the rest of the building on her.
She couldn't even analyze, the question from AK to say like, let's, roll the dice.
She should have said, well, actually, there's two options she could have done, and neither of which she did. She could have said, yes, let's do it, which I think AK would have respected, which 1 out of 4 is a better chance than 0.
She still couldn't realize that. That's the type of question he's asking you.
Yeah. Or the second answer is no. I'm saying I'm not going to Rocks, just like I said I'm not going to Rocks to send you right there.
Yeah. You made him roll the dice on you, so it's your turn to fucking roll the dice on him. Yeah. That's pretty much in the way, but she couldn't actually realize. She still was saying
she said nothing.
You know what happened, right? So it was another guy. She went up to play an idol. He got up, Benji, and then said, "Don't play it." So she didn't play it, and one of the boys went home. Now I feel like because he got so much praise about doing that in tribal, maybe she thought was convincing them three was she would get as much praise and it'd be classified as a great move. The problem is when I sit there and burn Jonny Fairplay once, you probably get over it. But if I'm going to burn your mum and your wife or your daughter or sister or whatever, and you all in the same hit and cancel your dreams out, it holds a different type of weight.
Yeah.
And she couldn't realize that move, and you because they've already made this decision up to put their whole game in a roll of a dice, all right? Yeah. Because they know that it's a dead end. There's a dead end at that level. Yeah. So there's nowhere going. So they've decided, listen, if we keep going this way, we all lose. We roll the dice. We still lose. But at least there'll be no regrets. Yeah. She convinced them there is room. Yeah. And they were like, all right, sweet. And then she just fucking dead ended them.
Yeah.
And that's like that's the scaly dog move, you know.
Well, Dirty Harry said, because I asked him, I was just like, is that move? I talked to Dirty Harry right before the finale. So we were just talking up to that time. The finale had not happened, and I'm just like, I'm thinking, like is that in game for Sharn? That move right there, because we have AK coming up to Dirty Harry saying, "I'm not pissing in your pocket. Believe me." And then he fulfilled his promise. Whereas Sharn did the exact opposite. I was like, is that game over? He goes, Australian Survivor's different. No, he said Australian Survivor's different in that he goes, if you do that once, that's rewarded as gameplay. You do it more than once, that's considered behavior. Whoops. Can you hear him, Zach?
Yeah. No, I can't hear him.
Okay, you're I think you're back.
Yeah, well, exactly right. I just don't think she read the room multiple times right. Oh, really?
Whoops.
Can you hear me?
We can now.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I just she just misread it. I think that you do that move maybe before merge. Great move.
So,
Great move.
Yeah, it seems like we're stumbling on the winning strategy of Survivor Australia.
No way.
Yeah. So play really hard until the merge. Get some big moves.
Yeah. So I was just saying, do that move before merge. Great move. Do it after merge. No. Like I
Oh. We can't hear you. What happened to your internet?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you back?
Damn.
You're back.
Breaking up.
Yeah, you're good now. Turn off Pornhub.
And then, but it's like anything. But you've got to. If all right, so say for instance, you're a part of you're a Russian, and you're an American, and but no one likes the person that. Oh no! What's happening?
We're hearing you. Yeah,
we can hear you.
Yeah, no one likes. You need to pick a side at some point.
Yeah.
Never.
Okay, now you're back.
All right.
Oh no, it's breaking up.
You're breaking up. All right. Luke, I think we had a good discussion, right?
You can hear me?
We can hear you, but you're all choppy. It's the government doesn't want you telling us the secrets of Australian Survivor.
All right. Luke, in case I don't get to tell you and this taps out, I have to say that the auction in season 2 with you winning the Eat Everything award. Yeah.
It's weird.
Just have to tell you.
It's just going down to like one bar.
Oh, Zack doesn't get to tell him this.
Oh no.
The auction of season 2, Zack, say it quick.
It's cool.
There you go. Well,
it's my favorite Survivor moment of all time. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Luke, favorite Survivor moment of all time. Now that you're down to one bar.
Yeah.
On your internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Luke, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right.